Aretha and I are taking our usual omnibus, but there's something unusual about it this morning. What's with this omnibus?
Well, the driver is nullifying a bit too much gravity, but is that a problem?
Not that. I was talking about the unusually large number of proles.
Oh, that. The factory workers usually get off before our stop, but the main factory road is closed today. I heard they're installing a new drinking fountain. Didn't you read the news?
Did you read that in the Overture Science Journal?
No.
Then I must not have read it.
Nerd.
We enjoyed the commute in silence for a while, feeling the cool breeze coming from the front of the omnibus. Aretha, you mentioned nullifying gravity, right?
Uh-huh.
Before omnibuses were made as magic machines, they were only driven by controlling the surrounding air, weren't they?
Yes, but it was more difficult to steer because an omnibus was heavy. The driver had to have a strong faith to move an omnibus around. On the other hand, nullifying some gravity allows an omnibus to be almost as light as a personal carriage, even though it's much bigger.
So why didn't traditional omnibuses use the same method as today's omnibuses?
Because the driver would have had to be really skilled in both faith and willpower magic. It's not a problem now because anyone can operate magic machines, even though they're not skilled in the requisite traits. For example, you're not gifted in courage, but you can use your stove at home, right?
Interesting. Actually, I always wonder about that. Why can I use my stove even though I'm not gifted in courage? Aretha's eyes flare up. As a magical engineering student, she must like this topic.
You know how fire is cast, of course.
Well, of course. Fire equals summon on courage. That's very basic.
Right. When you cast fire, you actually perform 3 separate acts. First, you focus on the courage trait. What actually happens is that a little bit of the mana in your body is infused with courage. Second, you invoke the summon ability. What actually happens here is that your body consumes the courage-infused mana to summon the fire. And it's only then, third, that you release the magic from your hand.
Aretha pauses to make sure I understand. You know what? I never really think of these steps when casting a spell because they're done unconsciously. But I remember learning about this in IMS.
You mean Introduction to Magical Suffering, right?
Evidently, she remembers how I used to complain about IMS.
Anyway, what your stove at home does is the second and third steps. It summons fire using courage-infused mana and releases the magic. But machines can't do the first step. That's what you're touching the stove and focusing on courage is for. When you touch the stove and focus on courage, your body infuses courage into a portion of your mana, and then the courage-infused mana flows into the stove. And then the stove can perform the second and third steps automatically.
I stroke my chin. I've learned this before, I'm sure, but it's good to be reminded of how magic machinery works. In a very real sense, it's the basis of our modern world. So basically, a magic machine takes mana that's already infused with one or more magical traits by a human, and then it invokes magical abilities using that mana. In other words, a machine is just a way to automate the process of invoking summon, amplify, nullify, transform, or any combination of these magical abilities. Yeah, I think I get it. Being gifted in a magical trait means you have natural talent to invoke magical abilities on that particular magical trait. But even if you're not gifted in a trait, you can still infuse your mana with that trait. You just can't easily invoke abilities using that mana. However, when you use a magic machine, you don't have to invoke any magical abilities because the magic machine does it for you. Therefore, it doesn't matter what magical traits you're gifted in.
Bingo! My Franz is smart. Mommy is happy.
Sometimes she claims to be my lover, other times my elder sister. For some reason today, she's my mother. While Aretha is still laughing, our omnibus comes to a halt in front of the conservatoire. We get up from our seats and step off the omnibus. I take a look at the proles again as I get off the bus. A girl is gazing longingly at the conservatoire. I can feel a faint aura radiating from her. Courageous and compassionate.
Franz!
Coming. From the omnibus stop, we saunter across the spacious conservatoire courtyard. The courtyard is surrounded by 3 buildings on its east, west, and north sides, and is open to the street on the south. The omnibus stop is right across the street. If you drew a line from the omnibus stop to the north building's main entrance, that line would be parallel to the east and west buildings and divide the courtyard into 2 rectangles of equal size. The north building is the main building and is much larger than the other 2. If someone tells you to go to the conservatoire building without specifying which one, you can safely assume that he means the north building. It's also where most academic activities are conducted, so if you're looking for a classroom or a laboratory, that's where you should go. The west building, the smallest of the 3, is for administrative purposes, which is why it is usually only crowded at the beginning of an academic year or right before graduation. The east building is for everything else. It houses facilities that aren't directly related to magical science and engineering, such as the library, the art room, and various club rooms.
Oh hey, it's already the weekend tomorrow, isn't it?
Tomorrow is light day, so yes, indeed.
Do you have any plans?
No.
Then let's go see a kinetoscope show.
Kinetoscope is a relatively modern magic machine invention. It makes pictures move. It's like watching a play, but there are no actors on stage. Well, there's not even a stage, just a wall, and this machine projects images onto the wall from a long strip of individual pictures through a shutter. Apparently, it works by continuously running the strip of pictures over a projecting light and alternately opening and closing the shutter, which is controlled using the same wind magic as the one used to levitate a carriage or an omnibus or to rotate the hour and minute hands of a chronometer. A magician operates the kinetoscope by casting illumination magic to produce the light required to project the images. It's really quite a fascinating little machine. A kinetoscope show, huh?
You don't have anything to do tomorrow, right? It's not like you'll suddenly get a girlfriend today.
Hey, it could happen.
Yeah, right.
Fine, I'll go see a kinetoscope show with you tomorrow.
Great, let's meet at the theater at noon.
Sure. Aretha and I stop walking when we reach the north building's entrance.
So, are you going to the conference hall now?
I'll look for Professor Poe before that.
Okay, good luck on your presentation.
Yeah.
Not feeling confident?
Well, to be honest, no, not really.
Relax, Franz. I'll teach you a little magic charm. Whenever you get nervous, say my name 3 times in your heart. It will make the nervousness go away.
Yeah, I'm sure saying your name will chase away my nervousness, only to be replaced by a paralyzing fear so that I can't even speak or move, is that right?
Oh yeah, you'll say my name and you'll stiffen right up. You won't be able to help yourself.
See you tomorrow, Aretha. Well, when she's right, she's right.
See you, Franz.
There is still an hour before the symposium begins, but I already noticed many unfamiliar faces in uniforms among the people in the main hall. There are attendees from institutions outside the conservatoire. I head straight to the Magic Systems laboratory. In the lab, Professor Poe is standing near a small floating ball of water about as wide as my palm. His left hand is pointed at the floor under the ball of water.
Good morning, Franz. Mind your steps. There is a zero-gravity space in front of me.
Good morning, Professor. What are you doing?
Watch.
Keeping his left hand pointed at the floor, he uses his right hand to pick up some green tea leaves from his desk and slip them into the ball of water. Next, he brings his right hand a few inches under the ball and opens his palm. A small fire appears above his open hand, heating the ball of water. The water gradually turns green because of the tea leaves inside. Just a few seconds later, Professor Poe closes his hand to extinguish the fire. He now picks up a mug from his desk and brings it directly under the ball of tea. With a sudden flare, he pulls his left hand up, releasing the spell, and the ball of tea plops perfectly into the mug.
Phew.
He turns to me and wags his eyebrows up and down as he takes a sip of tea.
Ready for the symposium, young man?
Wait a minute. What were you doing?
As you could see, I was experimenting.
He swirls his tea in my direction to remind me.
And I am happy to report that the experiment was a success.
Well, I wouldn't call it an experiment. All you did was make tea.
Wrong, Franz. What I did was try out a novel way of making tea.
Why? We already know how to make tea.
Ho ho ho! Let me give you a life lesson.
He takes another sip.
Here's a secret to make your life infinitely more exciting. Whenever you find yourself about to ask why, stop and instead ask, why not? Suppose someone said to you, let's make a carriage that doesn't only fly, but also spins in the air. Your first instinct might be to ask, why? Because you know that flying straight should be easier and more efficient. But that is not a reason not to make a spinning carriage. It is merely a reason to make a carriage that flies straight. No one will stop you if you want to build a spinning carriage, because why not? The day we stop asking why not will be the day we stop innovating, which may also be the day we stop advancing as a civilization. The breadth of human knowledge is an accumulation of acting upon the why nots.
Huh. Professor Poe calmly drinks his tea again. How do you make a spinning carriage?
Ho ho ho! I'll show you someday.
I'm not sure I want to know. I think I'd get nauseous. Yes, I'm ready for the symposium.
Very good. Let's go.
He gulps down the rest of his tea and we're off. With Professor Poe walking beside me, the unfamiliar faces that 10 minutes ago never bothered looking in my direction now try to approach us just to greet and exchange handshakes with the professor. Everybody seems to recognize you.
Oh, well, I've worked with lots of institutions over the years.
In fact, Professor Poe is all but a celebrity in research circles. When he was young, if you said this in front of the professor, he'd quip that he was still young at heart. Professor Poe successfully solved one of the many long-standing mysteries of magic. His research answered the question of how the water, fire, rocks, and wind that magicians summon are made of elements that already exist in nature. So, for example, when we cast water, the water is summoned from a nearby sea, and eventually it finds its way back to the sea. Nothing is gained, and nothing is lost. Most people are familiar with his book on the subject, if not his name. The title is Whence Magic Comes, Whither Magic Goes, or Why Overture Isn't Drowned in a Giant Flood After 3 centuries of Casting Water Spells. It looks like many people from the industry are attending this year.
Yes, alone is sending about 100 representatives.
Magical Mechanical?
What other would attend a science conference?
Well, fair enough. At home, I always see those 2 letters printed on my coffee machine. At the conservatoire, I read it on the lab equipment. In winter, I see it on my room heater. In summer, on the room cooler. All year long on my chronometer. short for Magical Mechanical, is the largest magic machine manufacturer in Overture, quite possibly the world. They have factories not only in Overture, but also in our colonies. We've arrived at the conference hall on the top floor, which is already packed full with the symposium attendees. Just as we're entering the hall, we bump into a beautiful woman.
Oh, Professor Poe!
Why, if it isn't Dr. Alanis Blyton, how are you?
I'm fine. I hope you are too.
Oh, but of course.
The woman returns the professor's chuckle with a kind smile, and then her gaze shifts to me.
Hi, Franz.
Hi, Dr. Blyton. I didn't know you'd be coming. I might be imagining this, but I feel her smile has turned seductive.
But I wouldn't miss my cute Franz's presentation for the world.
Like mother, like daughter.
Oh, what a surprise. My student and Dr. Blyton are already acquainted with each other.
I'm friends with her daughter.
Oh, I see. I've heard of that daughter of yours, Dr. Blyton. She's working on a very interesting project, I hear.
I have nothing to do with her project. She came up with that on her own. I honestly don't know why the conservatoire keeps inviting me to the symposium, considering that I hardly do any work on magic these days.
That is absolutely not true. Your work helps us understand the most important component of magic itself.
Without saying anything, Dr. Blyton just smiles at the professor's remark. The professor turns to me.
Well, you'll be sitting with the other presenters, right? I'll be watching with the audience.
You should be giving this presentation instead of me.
Oh, I've had my fair share of that, thank you very much. This year, I think I'll just relax and watch.
Good luck, Franz.
They both grin as they start walking toward the front row to join the other professors. I head to the seats in front reserved for presenters. As I turn a corner, I almost run straight into a man. We both stop suddenly, surprised. Sorry. He looks about my age. Is he a student from another conservatoire? But he's not wearing any uniform. Actually, from the way he is dressed, he may be an aristocrat. But I didn't see any other aristocrats. Oh well, I guess there really are all kinds of people attending the symposium. But I have a nagging feeling about this man. Have I seen him somewhere before?
What the hell is this peasant doing just standing and staring at my face? Admiring my profile? Begone! Hey, can you move?
Sorry.
I'm surrounded by idiots. What? He's walking toward the front row. Is he presenting? He only looks my age. He's even wearing a goddamn uniform! They're even letting students present these days. I knew it. This symposium is a joke. I can't believe I'm here. I take a seat at the back. At the same time, a woman who seems to be the MC goes up to the podium.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Conservatoire de Overture's 17th Annual Symposium.
Applause from the audience, but not from me.
Today we have 15 amazing presenters who will be sharing their knowledge with us. We will have 8 presentations in the morning and the rest in the afternoon, leading into a gala this
15?
evening.
Did she say 15? Oh, God, save me. My father makes me attend this symposium every year. He says it's a good opportunity for me to experience the work of the greatest creative minds in the city firsthand, since I'm homeschooled and don't otherwise get to interact with academics. As the biggest shareholder in Magical Mechanical, it was easy for my father to make send me as one of their representatives. And it was equally easy for to send as many representatives as they wanted, them being the corporate sponsor of this event. Ugh, damn this luck.
But before that, I'd like to call the headmaster of Conservatoire de Overture, Mr.
But seriously, this symposium is a joke. Those presenters are not even here to share knowledge. They're either trying to sell something or get funding for their research. They're fakes. All of them. Applause again. Some old geezer goes up on the podium. The conference hall is pretty big. If you drew a hexagon on the floor, you could probably play Sorcerer here. There wouldn't be any space left for an audience, though. Not that I would mind. Looks like there are exits to some kind of balcony outside from which one is able to look down at the courtyard. Another round of applause. The old geezer leaves the podium.
Without further ado, please welcome our first presenter, a professor from the Academy of Widdershins, magical archaeologist, Aberdeen Sinclair.
So tired.
His work...
The walk back to the city from Maison de Beauvoir took over an hour. Even after I got back to civilization, I couldn't find where I was exactly. Eventually, I gave up and called a taxi carriage. But unbelievably, the driver was a dolt. He didn't know where the house of Lord Godwin was. I had to force him to pull over so that I could hail yet another taxi. I didn't get home until well after midnight. Now my eyelids feel heavy. Heavy. heavy.
Hey, wake up. Elise, wake up. Lunch break's almost over.
A girl dressed in the same factory uniform as mine is shaking my body. I peek up at her without lifting my head, which is resting on my arms as I'm sitting slumped over a desk. Hey, Jude.
Are you awake?
Not sure. Do I look awake?
I'd say so. What with us having a conversation and all.
I get up and stretch my arms out. Half awake, maybe. That's good enough to work, though. Oh, that's right. I have to see Mr. Nailton. Potion. Can I get an extra bottle of potion? That's just how work in a factory is. You come in the morning, drink a bottle of mana, use it all up by casting the same magic until lunch. Then you gulp down another bottle of mana after lunch and continue casting that same magic until the end of the shift at sundown.
Lord Godwin is what people call my father. You can just call me by my first name.
Is that really okay? All right. Nice to meet you, Frederick.
I was being polite, you damn peasant. He should at least have the good sense to continue to use my title despite my offer. What a little imbecile.
Let's Done Project.